I was on a recon mission when my wife's boyfriend called. The call came when I was 3 hours into the recon. A dead zone. No sound except the wind scraping across broken stone and the occasional hum of the encrypted radio. My men were 50 meters out, watching, waiting. The phone in my chest rig vibrated. Not the secure line, my personal. I shouldn't have answered, but I did. "Soldier boy," the voice laughed, low and amused. "She's divorcing you. Next, she's giving birth to my kid." I didn't speak. Silence was safer. He kept going. "Your son's in a homeless shelter. I can hear him crying in the background right now. Your wife says it's over. Forget you ever knew us." Then, her voice, ragged, furious, distant but clear. "It's over. Forget us. Forget me." The call cut. I stood there in the dust, rifle pressed against my chest, headset crackling faintly with static. My men didn't notice the change in my breathing. They didn't see the tightening of my grip. They thought I was just an embassy guard, just another uniform filling space. They had no idea who I really was, no idea what I command, no idea the war I could bring. And my wife? She had no idea what it meant to betray a man like me. For 12 years I believed in the facade. Her smile at the airport gates, her letters sent overseas, the careful words, "Come back safe, we need you, I love you." But words can be masks, and sometimes masks are more dangerous than bullets. I replayed the call in my head as I finished the mission. Every syllable stripped bare, dissected. Laughter, my wife's voice, the word divorce, the claim of another man's child. My son, my blood, left in a shelter. Something inside me cracked, quietly. No sound, no expression, just a fracture in the foundation. When I returned, she smiled, as if nothing had been said. Dinner on the table, wine poured, her voice warm, practiced. But I had heard the truth already. She didn't know I recorded the call. She didn't know I replayed it every night, headphones pressed in, memorizing tone, cadence, the background noises. I didn't confront her, not then. I nodded, ate, kissed her forehead, let her think she was winning. Because confrontation is for the weak. Strategy is for the patient. I started with the small things. Phone records, deleted messages pulled from cloud backups, the location pings that told me where she really was when she claimed to be visiting her sister. Patterns emerged, numbers repeated, a name hidden behind initials. Then the tests. A hair from my son's brush, a swab from my own cheek, sent to a lab under a different name through a different channel, buried under layers of clearance. While the results processed, I studied them both, my wife and my son. Her laughter when she thought I wasn't listening. Shorter, sharper, not the same sound I remembered from years past. My boy's eyes. Once I thought they mirrored mine. Now I saw echoes of someone else, someone I had never met but already despised. I kept my movements cold, efficient, my routine flawless. I gave her no reason to suspect, no raised voice, no broken glass, just patience. At night, when she turned away from me in bed, I stared at the ceiling and replayed the boyfriend's words. "Soldier boy, she's giving birth to my kid." And every time I felt the rage. But rage is only power when controlled. The envelope arrived 2 weeks later. Plain, unmarked, clinical. I opened it at the kitchen table while she cooked, humming. 3 lines of text. Probability of paternity, 0%. My son was not mine. I folded the paper, slipped it into my jacket, and continued eating as though nothing shifted. That night, I placed the envelope on her nightstand. No words, just evidence. She froze when she saw it, hands trembling as she opened it, eyes flicking over the result. Silence, then stammering, excuses, tears, the usual weapons of the guilty. I didn't speak. I didn't need to. My silence was heavier than any scream. When she finally broke, when the sobbing shook her chest, I simply watched, detached, cold, like observing the collapse of a building from a safe distance. The next morning, I left early, but I didn't go to work. I went to the man's address, the boyfriend. Not to speak, not to threaten, only to stand across the street, watching. He came out laughing, phone in hand, sunglasses sliding down his nose, smug, careless. He didn't know who I was, didn't know the chain of command that bent to my voice, didn't know the reach of a man who commands shadows. I called him from a burner, watched as he picked up, puzzled. "You told me once I was just an embassy guard," I said quietly. "You were wrong." His smile faltered. He looked around, searching. Who? I ended the call. Then I dropped the phone in a storm drain and walked away.
The fear would do the rest. His imagination would finish what I started. And she would live with the silence I left behind. No closure, no forgiveness. Only the weight of truth crushing her each day. That was enough. That was the revenge. I moved out within the week. No explanation, no fight, just absence. A ghost leaving no trace. The military thought I was steady, unshaken. They never knew how much I had buried inside. But the truth is simple. When someone betrays you that completely, they are already gone. I gave her no final words, no chance to plead, because the most devastating goodbye is silence. She destroyed a family. He destroyed a bond. But I destroyed their certainty, their safety, their illusion of control. Now, they live with the memory of a man they underestimated, a man who was never just a soldier. I was the general in charge of shadows, and when the war turned inward, I won. The loudest revenge is the one spoken in silence.